right, welcome back everyone. In today's training, we are going to be going over the clients tab. So today we're actually going to be adding a new client into our system. We're going to be providing them with the credit analysis, and we'll be able to review their credit report so you guys can get a better understanding of what to look for, because software is a great tool to help assist you, but you are still going to need to understand how to read a credit report and understand what is affecting someone's credit score. So this client has already signed up for Smart Credit, which I tell people that's the first step. I don't even really want to talk about much more until we get your credit reports, because your credit reports are going to tell me everything that I need to know. And if you want to move forward with service, great. If not, we don't really have much to talk about until you sign up to be a client, because I'm telling you at this point, you do need credit repair, or maybe you need trade lines. Whatever the case may be, they would probably need to sign up for some sort of service or purchase something to move forward with you, because you don't want to waste your time with people who are not interested in your service. People will talk your ear off. I've talked to people for over an hour and they've never signed up or spent a dime with me. So you really want to limit yourself and speak to people for no more than 30 minutes. I tell people we provide, a free 15-minute phone call. 15 minutes can easily turn into a half hour, can easily turn into 2 hours. So you want to try to limit yourself to 15 minutes per client. And of course, if you feel the need to spend more time with a client, by all means, go right ahead. It's a great experience. But at the end of the day, your time is very precious, and that's one thing that we can't get back. So we have to focus our time on what is going to grow our business and make us better at what we do. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to add a new client into the system. So you guys may have heard me talk about previous, you could set up automations to where if someone books a call with you or fills out a form of some sort, they will get transferred into Credit Repair Cloud as a lead if you set up Zapier. So what I do is I have Zapier set up to my calendar. I use Acuity. So we're going to add in a new client. And there's two ways that you can go about doing this. You can use your home screen. And of course, this is going to be the screen that you're going to land on when you first log into Credit Repair Cloud. And you can click on add a new client right here. But again, you want to kind of get familiar with the software so you can go to that exact location where you need to go to get the job done. So we're going to head over to our clients tab, because it's going to take us to the same place. We're going to click on this little green button where it's going to say add a lead or a client. And we're going to just start putting in their information. So in order to get someone initially started, all that we really need to do is put in their first name, their last name, and their email address. We're going to put in 4 zeros for the last 4 of their social, because we do need to put something in there in order for it to save. You don't need to add a birthday, first name, last name, email address. At this point, since they're not a paid client, we don't even need to put their mailing address in. We only want to fully onboard somebody once they have made a payment, okay? If they have already paid you, then of course we want to put in all of this information, last 4 of their social, date of birth, their mailing address based on what is provided on the proof of address that they would submit. That could be a utility bill, a bank statement, any sort of statement that they have with their correct name and address located on there, okay? We don't need to put previous address. We only want one address. We only want one name. We do not need a middle name. We just need first name, last name. Less is better, okay? Status. In this case, I'm going to put this person as pending sign up / payment, because we are providing them with a free credit analysis. They've already expressed interest in signing up. So at this point, we're going to go ahead and send the client the agreement and their billing information for them to submit a payment. Now, I have all my billing information set up in Credit Repair Cloud because I have had it for several years. but payments inside of the app are no longer available. So we're going to need to make sure that you set up your billing in a third-party website. You can use Billsby, you can use whatever merchant account that you see fit for your business. Really, it doesn't matter. As long as you can set the client up on recurring billing, that's what's most important. All right, so let's go ahead and check out the portal access. We want to make sure that is on. We want to make sure that the agreement is selected to be correct. In our case, we charge $2.99 down and then $99 a month. Now, you can charge whatever you see fit for your business, but keep in mind, one thing that credit repair people are not allowed to do is collect a large upfront fee before any work is done. Our first work fee is the free credit analysis that we provide the client to let them know what is on their credit report. And of course, that's the credit audit that's generated inside a Credit Repair Cloud. So that's the first work that we do for the client. But you are not supposed to collect, $1,000 one-time fee to collect, to repair someone's credit. That's what you're not supposed to do. Now, do people do it? Yes, they do. I am not the credit repair police. I'm just giving you guys the information, and you can make a decision based on what is going to be best for you, your business, and your situation. Okay, just know that it is frowned upon to collect a large upfront fee. However, if your client's saying, hey, I know you charge, $199 a month. Do you mind if I just pay you for 12 months? Sure, you can do a deal for someone where you charge someone $1,500 because they want to pay it so they don't, so they can get the job done, but you need to commit to that person for 12 months, right? And that's okay, in my opinion, because as long as you fulfill your agreement with the client, that's the most important. And I've had clients that say, look, I just got my tax returns. I just want to pay you so I don't fall short on money. It's already paid for. I don't have to worry about that bill. I just want to get this done. And that's fine. They can pay you for your service, but you do need to perform that service for whatever your agreement entails, whether that's 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, whatever the case may be. So just keep that in mind, okay? Because you always want to do right by your clients. So we're going to put the status pending payment. And the start date, you can always adjust that later. It automatically populates today's date. If you want to assign it to anybody, I always assign it to all of my dispute processors and myself. And then we want to turn the portal access on. We want to make sure that you have the correct agreement selected. So if you have multiple payment options, whatever this client is signing up for needs to be the agreement that states what they are paying, how long the term is for, if they're paying monthly. You also need to put something in your client agreement that would state that they need to continue to pay for credit monitoring, because that is something that is going to be required in order for us to understand what changes are happening, the updates, and what we need to dispute. So that is something that you need to be upfront with your clients. Credit monitoring is an additional fee. Now, if you sign up to become a affiliate with Smart Credit, you can actually sign up to where you can sponsor your clients. So if you charge your clients like a one-time fee for 12 months, you can include the cost of credit monitoring in there. Or if you charge your clients $200 a month, but that also includes the cost of credit monitoring, you can have the credit monitoring billed to you, so you know that the credit monitoring at least will remain up to date during the time that they're a client or during the time that they're a paid client. So you can do it that way too. I believe you would have to sign up to become a higher end affiliate, so that way you can have access to the back end office. We have it, so we can sponsor clients. We can, cancel them when they cancel. And it's nice to be able to offer that, because you will have some people that are like, I don't want to have to pay it. Like, let me just pay you more and include it in the cost of the the credit program. So just keep that in mind. There's options out there for you. So I'm going to go ahead and select my payment option. Again, you guys won't see this because we have it set up, but this is how it looks in our system. So we're going to go ahead and hit save. It's going to ask you if you want to save it without an address. Yes, we do. It will save all of that information without an address. So it's really just not necessary that you put an address until they provide you with proof of address. So you can use the address that's actually on the proof of address. Because oftentimes people do not have the correct address on their photo ID or driver's license. And that's okay. They don't have to. It's recommended that they have a correct and updated address, but you know, there's also the proof of address that's going to be required at any rate. Okay. So now this is what your client's profile is going to look like. Okay. You'll see the tabs that we worked on in previous videos up at the top. And again, those are all tabs associated with your business. We have our second row of tabs, and these tabs are primarily going to be related to this particular client. Okay. You have your first tab, which is going to be your client's dashboard. And this is kind of like your home dashboard for your business, but this is for the client, that your client's account that you're actually in. And in this case, you can pretty much get to, you know, many of these tabs up here right from the dashboard. So at this time, we want to go ahead and we want to import the client's credit report and provide them with a free credit analysis. So there's two ways that you can do that. You can hit the little green button right here that says report/audit. Okay. And you can also go to tab 1. Tab 1 right here is going to take you to the same location. Okay. So those buttons will take you to the same tab 1 area right here, where we will see you can import the credit report and you can provide the person with a credit analysis. And then all of your credit analysis will be held in this little area over here. And this is where you can create additional credit analysis for clients, like updates and things of that nature. Okay. So we're going to hit import credit report now, and we're going to select Smart Credit. We're going to put in the client's email address and password. All right. So you're going to make sure once you've put in who the provider is, you put in the email address and password. That's the only thing that is needed for Smart Credit. Now, if you're dealing with Identity IQ, you're going to need to put the security word in, which is going to be the last 4 digits of the person's social security number. And that's another reason why I don't really use Identity IQ, is because with Smart Credit, it's the same information and you only need the email address and the password. There is no security word that's required to actually log in. But when you're using other providers like Identity IQ, you'll have to get the last 4 of their social, which is going to be their security word. Okay. Now pick the audit template that you want. In previous videos, I showed you guys how to create a client audit, and we're going to use that new client audit that we created so we can see it live. Okay. So we're going to select the template that we want to use, and we're just going to select this green button down here that says import and run simple audit. What this is doing is connecting to Smart Credit, the 3 bureau report, aka the 3B report. And it's importing all of that information from the client's Smart Credit account and Smart Credit reports into Credit Repair Cloud. So it's literally doing the work for you. So you don't really need to do much. It doesn't take long to provide someone with a credit analysis. So that's why I don't mind spending, a little bit more time on the phone with people, because oftentimes when you speak to someone initially, they might not be ready to sign up. Okay. Now you'll see that this gives us an error message, but read the error message because it's not always a bad thing. What it's saying here is Smart Credit is telling us that your credit reports are only 1 day old. Do you want to order an update, or do you want to continue with the available report? Now, obviously this looks like, oh my gosh, we got an error, but read what the error says, because in many cases you just want to continue with the available report. And sometimes it does take a little bit longer to upload because, Sometimes our internet is slow. Sometimes the server from Credit Repair Cloud is very slow. So just be patient, because oftentimes it does take a few minutes to upload. So, if you have to take a break, it would be a good time to sometimes take a break, because the report will be there for you when you get back. Or if you like to multitask like I do, find something else to keep you busy. All right, so we're almost done with the information being imported into Credit Repair Cloud. What's going to happen now is it's going to generate the audit that we built for our clients. And what the great thing about it is, this audit is actually going to have all of the data that is directly from this client's credit report. So we are going to be able to provide this client with a full report, and we didn't have to do any work. So the great thing about it is we could take a look at it, and it says, here's the basic information, and boom, right off the bat, we're telling the client, here's what your credit scores are. They're bad. And, your credit card utilization, 25% is still a little bit high, especially when the available credit is only $300. We want to advise all of our clients, when they're first starting to build credit, they need to keep all of their credit card balances below 10% of the available credit limit. Okay. You never want to have a balance on more than 2 credit cards, especially when you're first building credit. It's okay once you have established credit, you have over 10 credit cards, you can have balances on a couple cards, like 3, maybe 4, right? But you never want to have balances on more than half of your credit cards. So just keep that in mind. You do not need to use secured credit cards. Okay, they're already secured. The banks already have your money. They're not going to close your account due to inactivity. They're also not going to close your account due to inactivity when you pay a yearly membership fee. So remember that a lot of these credit builder accounts do have a membership fee. More likely than not, they want to collect that membership fee from you every year. So they're not going to close your account. As long as you're willing to pay that membership fee, they're willing to give you a line of credit. So it's kind of like an even exchange. Don't feel like you have to pay or buy something on that card just to have activity. You want to use that for cards that are with good banks that you're trying to build a relationship with, like credit unions. Navy Federal, they have a secured card that you can start off with. Use it properly. Make sure that you're never using more than 30%. You can literally use it and pay it off like the same day or the next day, and just use it and pay it off. So that way your balance is never more than 30% of your credit limit. And you also want to make sure that when your billing statement date is, so they do not report a high credit utilization to the credit bureaus. So you need to find out when your billing statement date is, and make sure that your account balance is paid to 0 3 business days prior to your billing statement date. As of your billing statement date, whatever your balance is as of your billing statement date, that is going to be the balance that the bank reports to the credit bureaus. Generally, they only report an account information once a month, and that is whatever your account balance is as of the statement date. That's what they're going to report to the credit bureaus. Typically, it's going to update with the credit bureaus about 10 business days after the statement date. Same thing with trade lines. If someone adds you to an account, typically it's going to post to your credit 10 business days after the statement date. So that's when the banks report account information to the credit bureaus once a month. All right. So, we'll take a look at the credit report and see if, what we see on there, because this audit is going to give us a brief overview. Here's the summary, right? We've got a lot of inquiries. We've got 56 inquiries with experience. So that's a lot of inquiries. We got a lot of derogatory accounts. Equifax looks pretty clean. So that's great. At least we have one bureau that's somewhat clean. So we have a whole lot. We have 38 derogatory items. Okay. So this client's definitely going to need credit repair. And then we don't have any public records, which this is where bankruptcies would show. So any sort of public record judgment, this is where it's going to be listed on this audit. And then we have 88 total inquiries. So we got a lot of work to do for this client. So that's why I always say, you know, you can charge a larger upfront fee to process all the paperwork, because like in this client's case, we're going to dispute all of this stuff the first month and every single month after that. So it's a lot of work. Imagine if we had to do all of this by hand. My goodness. So these are all of the inquiries, and there's quite a bit. So this is just, you know, the brief information that we had listed on the audit that we created together. And then we're going to just email this audit to the client. So this little button at the very bottom right here, you're going to click on that, and then you're going to get a confirmation that says credit audit report sent to client successfully. So that now the client has a breakdown of exactly what's on their credit report. You can also save it as a PDF, but that's not really necessary because this will be saved under your audits, and I'll show you guys where that's located. So we're going to hit next because we want to make sure that this is saved. So it is saved as a pending report. And if you wanted to actually go through and tag the report, then that's where we would go and do that, because we're now in tab 2 where you can tag the credit report, which is basically where we're going to go through the pending credit report, and we're going to give a reason why we're disputing everything and an instruction on what we want done about it. That's what tagging a report is. Okay, now it's very easy to do it inside of Credit Repair Cloud, and we will do it in another video. But in this video, we're just focused on getting the client into the system and getting him the credit analysis sent over. Okay, so now we're just going to go ahead and we're going to tag. Actually, no, we're not going to tag. We're going to go back to the audit button, which is under tab 1. And I'm going to show you guys where to find these audits if you ever needed to get it again. So when you are under tab 1, you're going to go to the simple audit right here. And it's just kind of like a little toggle button. This is where we actually imported the credit report. And if you scroll down, you'll be able to see the client's login details for the credit provider. So that's where you can always get your client's login details. Just copy and paste it, so that way you can work on their credit report and their credit file inside a Credit Repair Cloud side by side. So in case you needed to go back and forth, you could. But we're just going to click on Simple Audit. And this is where you'll see all of your saved audits. And then if we wanted to provide the client with a different audit, say the client was with us for a couple months, we could come over here and we can do, I have what's called a credit update, right? And I can select, I want to give this client a credit update. So I'm just going to generate the simple audit. And you can email these audits to existing clients. So you can let them know, hey, here's an overview of what we have left on your credit profile, right? So it's just a bit different. I'm not going to email this to the client, but I'm just kind of showing you guys, this is where you would find all of the audits. And this is where you can actually generate a new audit for an existing client. So let's head back over to the dashboard, and I'm just going to give you guys a few tips here. So you'll notice that the credit scores are not being shown on the dashboard. And the reason behind that is because the credit scores are not going to be shown until you have actually tagged the credit report and you have saved it. Once you have tagged the report and you have saved it, you will then see the credit score saved as of the date that you completed that task. So that's the reason why you don't see the credit scores. And of course, you're not going to be able to generate the letters until you have tagged the credit report. So the step 1 is to just import the credit report just like we did. Step 2 is tagging the credit report by giving them the reasons and the instructions on what you want done. The reason can be this account is invalid, this account is unknown, this account is fraudulent, this account is, not mine. Whatever the situation is, that's your reason why you're disputing it. And then, of course, you're going to give an instruction. I want this account deleted from my credit report. I will sue you if you do not remove this account from my credit report. Something to the effect of, I want this deleted from my credit report, right? Now, keep in mind, if you plan to sue the credit bureaus, I recommend sending certified mail. If you do not plan to sue the credit bureaus, you can send it with a stamp. And we just bought stamps today, so that stamps are actually 60 cents per stamp versus what cloud mail is. And I believe it's like $1, little over $1 to send a letter via cloud mail. So you're saving about 40 cents. So you just got to decide if that's going to be worth it for you. If you were at the point where you're ready to send letters, you can go to tab 4. Once you have tagged and saved the credit report, you can then generate your letters based on all of the information that you've tagged. And that's where you can actually select what letters you want to use, and you're going to be really working with the letter library a lot. So you want to make sure that you set up your letter library. If you have any edits with your letter library, it's very easy for you to just create another tab, duplicate your credit repair cloud, okay, go into your letter library, fix what you need to fix, and save it, and then you can refresh your letter inside of the letter generator, and boom, you've got your letter fixed. I always recommend people be proactive about things. So like I did just here, I just went to a separate tab, duplicated my tab, and I will be able to access my letter library, edit whatever letter I need to, because sometimes we'll see errors. Sometimes it's not formatted correctly. So I can edit it real fast, and then I can go back into my original tab where I'm working on the client and generate the letter. So that way you don't lose your space, because as you know, when you are in your letter library, you don't see your client's information, because this is all your company information. So you're not going to see your client's information unless you go all the way back to clients, find the client's profile, and go back into that client's profile. So this is an easy way for you to kind of be, more proactive when working inside of this app. So that's pretty much it for, just adding a client in who is wanting to, get a free credit analysis from you. We've emailed the client the credit analysis. Then we can now follow up with them via text, like, hey, I just sent an analysis. Let me know when you're available to go over it. And we can go over it with the client. Let's go ahead and log into the credit reports so we can actually go through the credit reports together, so you guys can get a better understanding of, how to read a credit report and how to go about advising a client what they should and should not do. So we're done with entering a client. Let's move on and get on to our next training.